Hello there, Bick Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 3 Remastered on brutal difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 4 of 22. It is entitled Run to Ground. So, as we rejoin with the pirate over here, we're going to be dealing with Charlie's recurrent theme of claustrophobia, which I find to be mildly annoying, much like the character himself. I never felt much of a bond with Charlie. We are going to be meeting up with Chloe in a moment too, who is less aggressive than she was in the previous game. Take that at however you will. I really don't know exactly what that means. I just find her to be less aggressive somehow with her dialogue or her sexuality. But it's a good thing. It definitely is. But they somehow they missed the mark with this game. I don't know what it was, but they tried to outdo themselves or something. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know what it is, but it just misses the mark in some ways. Maybe the sequel was just too good. I think that's probably one of the factors. The sequel was just too damn good. But thank God that we have a fantastic game. It's still great, and I mean great. And it's amazing. There's times, just wait until this pirate gets on the ship, man. Just wait for that. So this chapter is it's mostly driven by narrative exposition. Interactions between the characters. Now this game has some really good features to it. I really don't want to talk about certain of the mechanics until we get to them, because I'd rather talk about some of the other things that goes on in the game, such as I just wanted to, since I mentioned narrative before, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that, because there's going to be plenty of time to talk about, all the mechanics, some of the things that they changed and added, and the things. Look at that, to let. That's so distinctly British. Anyway, the times that I really don't like in this game, besides the puzzles, I think there's an increase in the puzzles in this game. I'm not sure. There's definitely not a huge emphasis on puzzles, but I can't really tell. I think there's about as many, honestly. But a lot of the times in this version of Uncharted, you kind of are just hanging around, kind of wool gathering amongst yourselves. And I know you might not know what that term is. It's kind of a colloquial term. And I didn't mean that in a bad way. I just meant it's colloquial. It's you're just kind of walking around investigating things, and if you and this didn't turn out to be too bad. I got the little scene here pretty quickly of stepping on these stones. But what I don't like in games is when you have to do a certain thing since you've already played the game. And yet you still have to go through the motions of the dialogue, the walking around, the quote unquote doing nothing. Now, since I just played this game to unlock brutal, I knew exactly what to do over here. But there are moments in this game where it's just can we get on with it? I'm thinking, And that's one of the focuses of the game, and there's nothing wrong with. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. That they went for a narrative-driven action, story-focused game, and that's what these games are, right? But for better or worse, this is the product that we have. And I think I remember this game being given a 10 by IGN. Wasn't it given a 10? Uncharted 2 was given a 9 or like an 8. And those numbers mean absolutely nothing to me, but I'm just kind of trying to remember how it all went down a while back. Now we're going to be doing a little bit of shooting over here. Look at this pirate, man. Look at the fucking pirate. But we're going to be doing a little shooting over here. We're just going to be using silenced pistols. There's an enhanced emphasis on combat in this game. You know, it's not like Arkham Knight, and yet it has some. I think it has some similarities to it. It was, you know, you can't help but notice it sometimes. Now you've got a couple of enemies over here. Now see how they're wearing business suits. This is going to be how enemies are throughout the beginning of the game. Now, once you've killed the first two guys, you do get a checkpoint over here. So, watch as I charge this last guy, this guy over here. He didn't give me a problem, and I was able to sneak up on them. But there are times when these enemies will actually hit you first, and you can recover from it. And there's a lot of times too when you're in brawls that they tend to draw themselves out way too long. I mean, if you're in a brawl with a heavy and you're anywhere where people are firing, just forget it. Just reset the checkpoint. You can't live, you know. I mean, even with a normal enemy, he's likely to give you trouble, and you're not going to be able to live on brutal difficulty. You're just not going to be able to. I mean, you already know that from Uncharted 2, I'm thinking, so. Now, on this part, it kind of wants you to hide it first, but then Sully will rebuke you if you rush those guys. So, you know, Sully's going to have to cool his ass down a little bit because I wanted to do my own thing over there. But you don't have to interact with the point of interest if you don't want to, which is good because that means that you don't have to waste time if you don't want to. Sometimes I just press the button out of sheer habit. And we're about done, but I just wanted to add as a last thing that even though this game went for story, it's still very similar to Uncharted 2 in the scale of it and the scope of it and the ambition. I really do think that the second game was just that good. It's this is the Dark Knight Rises of the trilogy, and I know there's a fourth game, but we won't mention that since it's, to me, the Ninja Gaiden 3 of the series. Same with Lost Legacy. I've never finished it. I've never been able to finish it, and that's sad. That's really sad because, you know, there's a level that's open world, and I don't abide by open world. Take care.